am so happy to be back with my Q&A video. A couple of weeks ago I asked you guys if you had any questions that you wanted me to answer, and here it is, it's time for the Q&A. So the first question is actually a question that I get asked in nearly every single one of my videos, and I totally get it. It is, what is your accent? The reason I have this weird accent is because I speak French in real life. Everyone around me speaks French, and I pretty much speak French all day, every day, so that's the reason why I have this weird accent. I used to have a better accent when I was living in the UK, but now it's not the case anymore, so that's the reason why I have this crazy accent. And I actually have like a French version of my blog and a French YouTube channel, so if you want to check it out, everything will be linked down below. Another question that I get asked quite a bit is, what is your job? So I would divide the professional side of my life into two categories. The first one is like my real job. I work as a beauty and fashion consultant. So that could be for websites, it could be for brands, it could be for physical stores, it can be a lot of different things. And I'm very fortunate to work in my passion field. It's really what I love doing. Every day I wake up and I get to do what I love, and that's priceless. And the other side of my life is all about my blog and my YouTube channel. I get to work with brands that I really like. I get to work on content with them. I get to be an ambassador for some brands, and I really enjoy it. And at the end of the day, my blog and my YouTube channel are the things that I am most passionate about. I really love creating content and sharing it with you. Another question that I actually found really interesting was, how old were you when you first wore a full face of makeup? So something a bit more than just mascara and lip gloss. I started wearing makeup very young. I was wearing mascara when I was like 11 years old, a bit of eyeshadow. I think the first time I wore like a full face of foundation, powder, mascara, everything, I would say I was about 15 years old. I discovered the first like foundation that I purchased was from L'Oreal. I think it was the Infallible. I wore that, and I wore like a ton of bronzer, but just because I thought it would like hide all the spots and acne that I got. It wasn't very a good look, but ever since then I've been wearing a full face of makeup nearly every single day. It's really something that I truly love, and I love applying makeup in the mornings, like my 10 minutes just for myself. So another question that has to do with makeup is, when did your interest in makeup begin, and what was your first high-end makeup purchase? So as I said, I was very into beauty and makeup at a young age. When I was a kid, I actually remember getting this kit of makeup from Harrods in London, and I was playing with it all the time. And my parents thought it so funny because I used to put like red lipstick, blue eyeshadow, I would put a ton of blush, and I would put like 30 necklaces and start dancing and singing for them. It must have been hilarious, but I really got into makeup when I was 11 years old, and actually I still have the very first high-end product that I purchased. This is the Lancôme Juicy Tube in the shade 17 Fraise. This is something that I picked up when I was like 13 or 14. I remember at the time I bought it in England because I was on like a student program for the summer to learn English, and I had like a little bit of pocket money, and this is the first thing that I purchased that was really high-end. I wanted one for years and years and years, finally got one. It looks full, but it's pretty much empty. I think it's just like a bit hard because this is like 10 plus years old. I kept like the packaging, I loved this so much, and that was the very first one. It was a good pick. I would still wear this color nowadays, but it was my first very big makeup purchase. And I think the second one was like a Chanel lip gloss, because I was really into lip glosses at the time, and buying a Chanel lip gloss was like the biggest achievement in my life so far. Another question that has to do with makeup is, what is a makeup look you did when you were younger and feel embarrassed about? I have a ton, to be honest with you, because I tried everything I could as a teenager. The very first makeup look that I did was really bad actually. It was when I was 11 years old. I was applying, I still have it but I couldn't find it for some reason, a bourgeois eyeshadow. It was icy blue, very light blue and shimmery. I was applying that all over my lids, and then I was wearing a bronze mascara because for some reason I thought that blonde were supposed to wear bronze mascara for some reason. It looked terrible. I mean, blue eyeshadows on blue eyes with bronze mascara, it was just a disaster, and I did that for like 2 years. And after that I tried pink eyeshadow, that was a thing. I tried red shimmery eyeshadow from L'Oreal. I remember it was like a tiny pot with like a brush and you have to dip it in. It was terrible, I looked sick all the time. Then I applied matte black eyeshadow all over my lids. It was mainly with eyeshadow. I never did something crazy with my lips or with my blusher or something, but really eyeshadow, it was kind of a disaster before I started using nude shades. Thank God, everything is behind me now. Another question that has to do with traveling is, are there any remote or less popular parts of America you'd like to visit? Of course, one of my travel dreams is to rent a car on the East Coast and travel all the way to the West Coast. And that was something that I would love to do, and that would include very big cities, but really remote places and places that you have no idea were there. I really like visiting the United States because it's such a big country. It has a lot of different things to visit and to experiment, and I really hope to do that anytime soon, as soon as I can. I would love to do that. There are a couple of cities that I would love to visit in America, bigger cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, but I really would like to get in a car and get into the country and visit less popular area. That's something that I would really love to do. What's your favorite dessert? And this is actually a funny question because I'm not really a dessert person. At least in Europe, I guess I should say, because I really like American, British kind of dessert, like pancakes. I love cheesecake. I love any sort of brownie, any sort of muffins. Forgot the name of muffins. But as far as European dessert go, I'm not really into those. I like ice creams, but honestly, whenever I go to a restaurant, I never order any because I don't really like them. I would prefer have pancakes for breakfast than dessert at restaurants. If you could only listen to one musical artist or group for the rest of your life, who would that be? And that is such a tricky question. I would go for either Transplants or Franz Ferdinand, which are two bands that I've been listening ever since I was 13 or 14 years old. Listen to their song every single day. I have their songs in my car, on my laptop. I always listen to their music and I never get tired of it. Otherwise, I think I would miss Britney Spears because I used to be the biggest Britney Spears fan and I still love her music to this day. So either one of these three. How do you keep your hair so voluminous? And I actually took the product with me because I think it is all down to this. This is a Charles Worthington Volume and Bounce Texturizing Spray, and this is a miracle in a bottle. First of all, it's very affordable. It's not like the Oribe Dry Texturizing Spray, which is just crazy expensive. It smells very good. I found mine at Boots in London, and I really like it because it goes a long way. You only need a couple of sprays. What I do is I flip my hair, spray it 5 or 6 times, just mess it up. Beware, it will make your hair feel a bit dry and a bit I don't know, not very smooth, but it really adds a bit of texture and a lot of volume to your hair, and you can really just revive it through the day, and that's my secret to get voluminous hair. It's so easy, it's totally worth it, I highly recommend it. And the last question for today's video is, what did you study? So when I was in high school in Belgium, I studied Latin, Greek and history. Those were not the only subject that I studied, because in Belgium you have to study science, mathematics, French. You have to study a wide variety of subjects, but those were my 3 majors, I guess. Then I moved to England for a year when I graduated from high school, and over there I studied only design, photography, business and art. And after that I moved to Paris, where I studied fashion design for 2 years, and after that I took classes in styling and fashion marketing for another year before coming back to Belgium and start working as a freelance and working on my blog. So I guess that's everything that I studied in my life. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section or on Instagram, on Twitter, on social media. I would be more than happy to answer them. And in the meantime, be well, be healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!